This episode of Southeast Iowa Today is brought to you by Griner Auto Body of Washington, Iowa, using state-of-the-art techniques and decades of experience to get your car back on the road after an accident. Car Doctor of Washington, Iowa. No matter who Frankensteined it, they can fix it, clean it, and customize it. McDonald Boneyard of Keota, Iowa, for all your farm equipment and auto recycling needs. For great food, it's Your Choice. Your Choice Family Restaurant of Wayland, Iowa. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Come to our cruise-ins this summer on the second Tuesday of the month, June through September. Girling Repair of Winfield, Iowa. If your mower is dead, call Fred, your Husqvarna, Aaron's, and Gravely dealer. Fred also fixes and sells snowblowers. B&B Propane and the family of jet stops. CW Tree Trimming, LLC. We're into your trees, not your wallet. Serving all of Henry County and the surrounding area. We offer a senior citizen and veteran discount. Dutch Market and Coffee Talk of Washington, Iowa. Dutch Market can handle all of your grocery needs, and they even have a conference room that you can use for free. Coffee Talk's drive-thru is open and ready to serve you coffee, energy drinks, sandwiches, baked goods, and ice cream. They all present you the award-winning Southeast Iowa Today. Here's the author of Christie's Journey, The Beat Goes On, and your host, John Bain.
Thank you, announcer Cody Roy of NewEnglandDukes.com for your golden pipes and wonderful introduction. Today, I am releasing this podcast episode, and it is Monday, September 15th, 2025. The Jefferson County Board of Supervisors are not meeting today. Therefore, I took this as an opportunity to share with you video coverage of last Monday's Jefferson County Board of Supervisors meeting of September 8th, 2025. I had every intention of attending this meeting and sharing my own video from the occasion. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend, but thanks to modern technology and the Fairfield Media Center YouTube channel, I'm able to show you the proceedings. Sheriff Bart Richmond asked to be on the agenda at the meeting, and he was added. The agenda noted, discuss and consider hiring Skylar Limkemann Attorney at Smith Mills Law to represent the Sheriff's Office in administrative matters. That part of the agenda is what we will be focusing on during this episode. Sheriff Bart Richmond was present, and you will see and hear him on camera during the discussion. County Attorney Chauncey Moulding was also present, but you will not see much of him on the video. He was sitting off camera during the meeting, but you will see him on camera while exiting the meeting room and then at one point and then returning to the meeting room before public comment. You will hear him though. The reason Sheriff Richmond requested to be on the agenda is that he is still currently on the county's Brady-Giglio List, even though he won in district court and County Attorney Moulding was instructed to remove the sheriff from the list. The county attorney has refused to remove Sheriff Richmond from the list and has appealed the district court's decision and is taking the matter before the Iowa Supreme Court, citing constitutional concerns. Therefore, in the sheriff's mind, putting him in a position that he needs outside legal representation. The sheriff has two deputies requiring disciplinary action, and he believes this is his only recourse due to the fact he has not been removed from the Brady-Giglio List. County Attorney Moulding mentions in this meeting coverage that he took an oath of office, and he is following that oath. Now, I obtained what I believe that oath to be from the website legis.iowa.gov. I will now put that oath on the screen for you, and I'm going to also read it aloud, and you can follow along. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Iowa, and that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability, discharge all the duties of the office, and then naming the township, city, county, district, or state, as the case may be, as now or hereafter required by law. At this time, I would also like to share with you the Jefferson County Attorney's duties as listed on the Jefferson County website. And I'll put those on the screen as well, so you can read along. County Attorney's Office description. The County Attorney's Office prosecutes violations of state law and provides legal advice and representation for the county. Jefferson County Attorney is elected to serve a 4-year term. Your county attorney is the legal advisor and chief law enforcement officer for your county. The Jefferson County Attorney's Office is responsible for prosecuting all state criminal misdemeanors and felonies that occur in Jefferson County. The county attorney is also responsible for enforcing county ordinances and other state laws that apply to Jefferson County. See Jefferson County Code of Ordinances. There are both full-time and part-time county attorneys in Iowa. Now, roughly 2/3 of all county attorneys are part-time and may handle private legal work in addition to their official duties. County attorney duties do include prosecute all violations of state criminal laws and county ordinances, provide legal advice to the Board of Supervisors and county and township officers concerning county matters, represent and defend the state, county, and its officers in officially related cases, recover all monies, debts, fines, penalties, etc., owing to the state or county, present all mental health commitment proceedings in all juvenile delinquency and child in need of assistance cases. Do not include, we do not give legal advice to or represent private groups or persons. We do not file lawsuits for private persons or defend them against lawsuits, including actions for dissolution of marriage. We do not prepare wills, deeds, or other legal documents for private individuals. Now, also on the Jefferson County website is the description for the sheriff's office. The county sheriff, along with the county attorney, are chiefly responsible for enforcement of laws in Jefferson County. The county also maintains a jail, which the county sheriff supervises. Our office provides law enforcement in the unincorporated areas of Jefferson County, as well as the communities of Fairfield, Batavia, Libertyville, Packwood, Vedic City, Pleasant Plain, and Lockridge. Our 10 sworn sheriff's deputies are responsible for patrolling 756 miles of county roads and over 50 miles of state highways with 24/7 coverage. Sheriff's office duties: summon grand and petit jurors, principal peace officer in the county, execute and return all writs and other legal processes issued to him by lawful authorities, custodian of the county jail, and is responsible for all prisoners committed to him until discharged by law. Upon commitment from the clerk of district court, transport inmates to prisons and patients to state hospitals, patrol all roads in the county, assist other law enforcement agencies. Now, the reason I share all of that with you is to give you the ability during your thought process as to whether your elected officials are carrying out their implied duties when mentioned in this coverage. One thing I need to point out that you will see in this meeting coverage is that Sheriff Richmond, early on in the conversation, gives a passionate plea imploring to reporter Andy Hallman of the Southeast Iowa Union to print accurate information. Now, hopefully by sharing the upcoming meeting as it happened, no one can say that I am not accurate. You will see that the Board of Supervisors, Lee Dimmitt, stresses he completely understands Sheriff Richmond's concerns, as does Board of Supervisor Joe Ledger. Now, Board of Supervisor Susie Drish just wants it to end. Joe Ledger made the motion to allow the hiring of outside counsel limited to 20 hours total at $250 per hour. In the event a lawsuit is filed, Iowa Communities Assurance Pool, ICAP, steps in. Lee Dimmitt seconded the motion. The motion passed 2-1. Ledger and Dimmitt voted yes. Drish voted no. After Sheriff Richmond left the meeting, County Attorney Moulding took the floor during the public comment section. Please watch to the end to hear his comments. Lee Dimmitt asked Chauncey Moulding, for the sake of argument, if the Supreme Court says there's no case, will he stop? Listen to Mr. Moulding's answer. I know this was a long explanation, but I also know you all have lives and can't focus on this kind of thing all the time. So this was my attempt to summarize it for you. It's a long video, but it is in all of your elected officials' own words.
Lee has left the room. He will be back soon. The next item on the agenda is discuss and consider hiring John Thomas of Workforce Solutions for an administrative investigation. I believe you put this in, Bart.
Yes, I didn't really need to put it on the agenda, but out of full transparency to the public, under the Officer Bill of Rights, I am required to do an internal administrative investigation, and to be fair and impartial, I'd like to hire John Thomas. He does about 20 or 30 of these a year.
Do you have any questions, Joe?
Now, he's gonna listen.
About what it's gonna cost? I was worried.
Up to $3,500.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm required to have this internal administrative investigation, and I'm going to be fair to all parties, impartial. I want certain individuals involved and certain individuals not involved.
Well, my question that just comes to the top of my head, since we have let the auditor's office do some of the workforce and related things, is this anything they could help with?
No.
Anybody have any comments? Joe? No? We should just leave. Back from the base. No, good time, Joe. Yeah. What? Nothing.
Oh, goodness gracious. Still there.
Yeah, we're at the point where Joe's listening. I've asked a couple questions.
Okay.
The court wants to be fair and impartial and transparent with the investigation.
I'm sorry.
Bart wants to be fair and impartial with an investigation.
Okay. That's reasonable. Okay. I want you to be fair and impartial, especially if it's me you're investigating.
Okay. Okay. John Thomas does about 20 or 30 of these a year for different agencies. And there's a process to follow. And he's familiar with the process. And it'll be fair, impartial, independent of my office.
In light of everything going on, I think it's probably a good idea Well, go ahead, you
No, I'm just wondering what's going on. I mean, does this have to do with the incident a little bit ago?
I cannot talk about that, Susie.
Marty, I'm just
I cannot talk about that, and I'm not gonna say what it relates to. But this is under Officer Bill of Rights, and I have to have an independent internal administrative investigation.
Well, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I know that you thought that that was best practice too, that he not do the investigation.
Yeah, because Bart is the employing authority, any internal investigation shouldn't be done by him because he has to make the final determination. So it's a good process certainly to have somebody, certainly that's not the employer, conduct an employment investigation for determination of appropriate response by the employer. That would be Bart. So I know John Thomas. I know he's done a lot of these. He's an effective workforce investigator.
So the only thing I would ask is, as much as can be, and the reason I say it that way is because I'm not sure how outside an inner circle you can get, so to speak, probably poor choice of words, but to keep Christie and or Darcy involved, since they are our HR, when I say involved, at least in the loop, and potentially Chelsea as well. I know you've reached out.
I've reached out to Chelsea.
Yeah. Just to make sure, in that regard. And then we have used John Thomas before, and presumably is familiar with employment law or whatever in that regard, right?
He's familiar with this law, yes.
So, do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion that we allow him to hire outside.
Can I ask a question? Is there, will we get huh? Well, an invoice, but a contractual, so that, it's not 433,000?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I think he's already sent it to me.
Okay.
I haven't done anything with it yet.
He mentioned while you were gone, like $3,500.
Okay.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Sure.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Discuss and consider hiring Skylar Limkemann.
Limkemann.
Okay. Attorney at Smith Mills Law, represent Sheriff's Office in administrative matters.
So I've passed out a House File 862 that was signed May 19, 2025 by the governor, enacted under Code 331.755. And if you go to the back of that section, it says a board of supervisors may, with a majority vote of the board, obtain outside counsel to represent the board of supervisors or any other county official. So I'm asking also to be fair and impartial that with this system, Skylar would represent me in my office during this process while John Thomas did the administrative investigation to make sure that this is all done correctly under the Officer Bill of Rights. He's very familiar with the law and the process. And I don't want to get sued. I don't want to go through what I've been going through for 1.5 years now. And I'm not going to go through it. I'm not going to be falsely accused of stuff. I want to make sure it's fair to everybody. And there's a current conflict given the current litigation with the county attorney. So The last time I disciplined an employee was almost a year and a half ago. Since then, I've been falsely accused, put on a Brady-Giglio, spent $54,000, and the case is currently being appealed to the Supreme Court that it's unconstitutional and vague. Now, do I want to go down that road again? Do I want to continue this way? You know, if any type of discipline is imposed during this investigation, the employee can appeal to civil service. The county attorney represents the Civil Service Commission if an appeal is filed. And he would have to recuse himself if he involved himself in this administrative investigation. We can't go down this road. The county attorney recused himself from criminal prosecution because of conflict. I can be sued personally under the Bill of Rights. And if that happens, the county attorney would not be the sheriff's attorney. I'm requesting the outside legal counsel for impartial and independent process. I'm being completely transparent so I have the public's trust. Employee personnel files cannot be released, and I want to assure fair process for all involved. I'm protecting myself and the office. I'm trying to prevent any litigation, mitigate the risk and public perception. I want to direct your attention to the email that was sent to you by the county attorney. Hiring an outside attorney is completely necessary. Quote, ADF is a statute I understand well, but he's appealing it to the Supreme Court that it's unconstitutional and vague. Let's point out some of the false accusations. Quote, improper to discuss such confidential matters such as employee discipline issues, unquote. Appeared aware of certain facts relating to a Jefferson County employment matter, unquote. I assume these facts were told to him by you, unquote. Quote, sharing confidential employment information with a private attorney is improper, unquote. Again, all false. All false accusations. We went through this for the last year and a half.
Bart.
No, stop. I'm talking.
You're reading the email.
I am talking, please.
Okay.
We went through this. You know, we got the press here. By end of day, he's going to get a completely false statement from Chauncey. Complete false. I've gone through this with Andy. Andy, question it. It's all false. All the articles you print, all the Kyle Ocker articles, they're all false. And I am not going to put myself, my office, or my family through this again. Do you understand that? I am not doing it. And I want to be fair and impartial to everybody. Now, I already know that the county attorney's been having conversation with one of the employees that potentially could get disciplined. Now, isn't that a conflict? He's discussing the case and discipline with this employee. Now, I'm asking you to allow me to hire Skylar to represent myself and the office so it's fair, impartial, independent, and we can get through this. And I'm not going through it again in court. And I'm not continue spending my own money on a private attorney.
Questions? Discussion? Or both?
I just want to say, wow.
Bart, I do have a question. What would hiring Mr. Skylar will cost?
Don't know. Don't know. He's not familiar with any of the case. Don't know. It has not been discussed with him either, just like it's not going to be discussed here.
What would his role be? And I'm not being flippant here, and I have a reason for asking it, but tell me what his role would be.
So legally, to make sure the process is done correctly. I mean, to protect myself in the office and any litigation on the county later. I mean, we don't know where the administrative investigation is going to go. We don't know what type of discipline is going to be imposed. We don't know how far it'll go. So basically, he has to be involved from day one.
So who is he overseeing? Now, you say he's overseeing, or somebody would oversee the investigation. So is he overseeing Mr. Thomas?
Not necessarily. John Thomas would be independent of that. We're asking him to do the administrative investigation.
Right.
And there's steps he has to follow, and he's familiar with that. On the legal side of things, Skylar would make sure that it's all being followed and he's protecting me and the county.
Okay.
And if he's not involved in day one, we're screwed. And if something happens, I don't want to get sued, and I don't want to go through a bunch of accusations and back to court.
And I can appreciate that. But the reason I asked the question the way I asked it was even if we were to go this route, at the very least, I would want to see limited involvement. And the reason I say that is because you are protected, as is your office, under ICAP. I talked with Joe Vince this last week because I was talking to him about what's called errors and omissions. But he said there's also law enforcement. So my point is that I wouldn't want to hire a private attorney to litigate if you.
I'm not being protected now by ICAP.
Well,
Am I?
are you going to let me finish?
Go ahead.
Because I don't want to pay a private attorney to do what ICAP will do when it comes to employment. If you and I get where you're coming from, and I'm not unsympathetic, you know that. But what I'm trying to get to is that in the performance of your duty, in the performance as a department head, and disciplinary circumstances regarding employees, anybody can sue anybody for any reason. You know that. We all know that. We've been going through it for the last year and a half, 2 years with individuals. So we know that can happen. We're currently involved with one right now that's being litigated by ICAP, an employment issue. My point simply is that it makes no sense financially to engage a private attorney to do what ICAP will do. I'm not suggesting that to have somebody, although I will tell you that there may be some advantages to having somebody on site, or whatever you want to call it, in real time, because ICAP wouldn't get involved until the actual imposition of a lawsuit or whatever took place. But I went through a rather extensive conversation with Joe about what it would cover, and the reality of it is that it would cover the county, it would cover you, the law enforcement end of it would cover you, the errors and omissions would cover you, it would cover the county. That's the purpose behind it. I just can't see having two law firms, one private and one that we're already paying. Well, we're not paying for a law firm per se, but they hire outside counsel to handle those things. That's the reason we pay hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for insurance coverage. We had 1 year, a premium increase was $122,000, I think, by itself. That's just the increase. So we need to take advantage of that. The only way that I could see that ICAP wouldn't cover you or cover the county, even if it was a blatant violation of civil rights, I'm not even sure even at that, even if it was misconduct, I'm not sure that ICAP wouldn't take the case. So all I'm saying is that I completely understand where you're coming from. But it makes no sense to me moving forward, if there was if Mr. Limkemann, however you pronounce it, was there to oversee the administrative investigation that was performed by John Thomas to make sure everything's, and you said the Office of the Bill of Rights, right? To make sure that that was being, I can see that, but I think if we get to a point where, and I would not be at all surprised to see if the circumstance comes about, the lawsuit was filed, I wouldn't be surprised. And I don't think that that's indicative of anything that you would have done or not did, or that was fair or unfair or anything like that. I just think it's in the nature of the beast, quite frankly. In other words, what I mean by that is that I think that even when you have an agreement that you won't, and they do. Okay, so the point is that I don't think, I know you think it's a reflection upon you, and I understand that, and I know public perception, and I understand that. But what I'm saying is that I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if it happens anyway, just because it is what it is. We're going to meet here in next week or sometime with an individual in a closed session as a result of something that had nothing to do with, in terms of doing anything wrong, but we got sued anyway, right? And so that's where I'm confident that ICAP will step up in that regard. As far as the administrative end of it, or the administrative end of it, the overseeing
He would oversee the legal side of things.
the administrative investigation. But I think at some point we would have to cut that off, because I think ICAP would step in and would cover. That's all I'm saying.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Or you read a few lines from an email that I had sent you. I don't know if you feel like you're necessary to say all the things that I'm saying to you in an email, basically expressing my frustration that I got a phone call from an outside lawyer who doesn't represent Jefferson County, asking me questions about things that you and I hadn't talked about yet. So that's my frustration, is that there's information being given to me by an attorney that doesn't represent Jefferson County. I represent you. My ethical duty is to represent you, your office, and this county. That is my job. That's what I'm sworn to do. And learning information about concerns of yours from an attorney that doesn't represent us was what that email is about. So I certainly hope you don't feel that is improper, but what is improper is to be sharing that stuff with outside counsel. So I am frustrated that you and I haven't had this conversation. But I want to reassure you, my ethical obligations are to protect you. You have an attorney on this. 311.756 sub 6 and sub 7 both oblige me to protect you and your office from any employment matters and represent you in these things. So I stand here ready to do that. I asked you if you need legal counsel and legal advice on this administrative matters. You told me no. And now you're here saying you need legal advice and counsel on this administrative matter. I'm confused about that. There is no conflict here, Bart. I'm your lawyer, and I'm
You're not my lawyer. You're not my lawyer.
By code and by ethical obligation. So, as I told you last week, I'm standing by to assist. That's the obligation of me and the lawyers in my office. And I am curious, I would really hope that for the foreseeable future that you wouldn't seek outside legal counsel every time there's a legal question. I'm right here, Bart. Standing by to aid you in any way necessary. So that's my frustration.
We're going down the same road we did over a year ago. We're going down the same path, same thing, all over again.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I want to address Chauncey. I can't believe what you just said. You're in litigation with him, but you want to represent him. I can't believe you think that way.
Joe,
I'm sorry.
I know that. That's the law, and that's my ethical duty. I represent Bart. I work with his office every single day. And I would challenge Bart to point to a situation where I have steered you the wrong way legally. That's my obligation here.
Why don't you drop this other litigation and things will move forward? I'd be scared to death to be in his shoes right now. I'm sorry.
I'm not out to get
Thing
Bart.
is, I don't know how he can even give advice on a code section that he calls unconstitutional and vague. He's appealing to the Supreme Court.
That's a particular subsection that isn't relevant to this part of the proceeding.
I'm not going through it again. And I owe it to the employees of the sheriff's office and my family that I'm not doing it again.
Bart,
And I didn't do it to begin with. Like I said, it was all false accusations.
Bart, there's no accusations here. This is an employment matter. I'm the employment
I
lawyer for
just
the county.
noted some false accusations in your email.
You read 2 words at a time. Read the whole email if you want to make an accusation, Bart.
Well, the supervisors have the email.
This is the conundrum. I guess I'm gonna let you two have a discussion.
I had my say, I think.
I'm just listening.
Well, a decision has to be made one way or the other. And again, I feel very confident that in regards to employment issues, that ICAP would step up as they have here in the past, even in light of ongoing, what I would term frivolous lawsuits, but I guess it may not be to the people that filed them, but nonetheless.
They get involved now. Will they get involved now?
Well, I kept getting involved.
Yeah.
In this particular instance,
Yeah.
I said he would. I point blank asked him.
Right now. They would hire an attorney.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? At this particular moment, I know that's not the way you view it, so don't misunderstand. But there isn't an ongoing lawsuit at this point, but as soon as there was, yes. Yes. If there was a lawsuit, then that's where I'm at. I can understand wanting to have the protection. But at the point where a lawsuit's filed, then it's got to change direction.
Well, certainly hiring Skylar would reduce the risk of that ever happening.
That may very well be. But that's what I'm saying is that if it does have in reality, nothing reduces the risk because anybody can sue for anything for any reason at any time. And especially when they view when they look at us and what they view as deep pockets, which we don't have, but that's the way that they look at it. The thing is that, like I said, at the very least, I would like something that was rather finite and a specific dollar amount. I don't like open-ended. I think at some point, if something was to come of this, no, I'm not saying it won't, because it very likely could, just because the person in the individual has the right to do it. At that point, I know that ICAP would step in and take over and they would provide attorneys. Yes, sir.
As your county attorney in my past term, when I was your county attorney, I'm an assistant now, but I have been a federal prosecutor. I've been in the same position the sheriff's in, and sued by people in federal prison and by disbarred lawyers, and it's a tough spot to be in. You've selected Mr. Miller to do, or Mr. Thomas, I'm sorry, to do the investigation. I'm sure, again, he's well respected and very good. You asked a question earlier about what fees run. I was in private practice up until 1st of August when you folks retained me to be an assistant county attorney. The latest I have seen was the Clio Institute and did a survey of Iowa lawyers. And they found the median, this is as of January, a year ago, 2024. At that time, it was $252 per hour. I've seen other supervisors where they've had to spend $500 per hour to retain other law firms. But I wanted to just add that after Mr. Mr. Thomas's investigation, which will be done confidentially and protecting everyone, there's certainly opportunity at that time. But I don't know that when a person's doing an investigation, someone else can intervene in that investigation. But I just wanted to, it's a tough decision. Understand.
Well, that's why I asked the question earlier about, where would Mr. Limkemann be in that process? Well,
His rate is $250,
okay.
but he just
what I
sent me
mean
a
is-
text that it'd be limited representation, whatever that means.
Say that again.
It'd be limited representation.
I mean, as what I'm trying to get my arms around, is he going to be there while Mr. Thomas is doing?
He would oversee John in the process.
And is he an employment attorney?
Which principally represents police officers in litigation against municipalities. That's his main job.
Okay.
Is this John Thomas, a lawyer, attorney?
He's the police chief for
No,
city center. I think.
he's a certified peace officer in the state. He is a chief of police.
And he's qualified to do this?
Yes.
See, any idea how many hours, Bart?
Skylar said, I'm a municipal defense attorney.
I'm sorry, what?
He says, I'm a municipal defense attorney. So no, as to length, hours, or how much cost, no, because obviously none of that's been discussed with him as to the case. And it depends on, if it gets to where it's appealed, whatever, litigated, ICAP will take over that.
Bart, are you gonna ask for an outside lawyer every time there's a legal question?
I'm asking for one today.
Well, what if another one comes?
I'm asking for one today.
There's no conflict between my office and the sheriff's office. My office stands by, represent them ethically and ethically. This is a blank check that we're writing to the sheriff to hire outside counsel for any question that comes up. Completely honest.
My arm wrestling contest is, right, wrong, or indifferent, Chauncey, my arm wrestling contest is that I completely sympathize with Bart's concern. Not suggesting that there's a conflict, I'm not suggesting that what you're stating isn't correct legally, but you get hit upside the head often enough, you tend to duck. Otherwise you get hit again. And so I understand that. However, conversely, the same thing that we've discussed before about something that we have no control over, we're being asked to arbitrate. And ultimately, that's a concern too, in terms of, I felt like I had control over it. And we've had this conversation before too, that I might feel a little bit differently about it, but I just don't know where this is going to end. I know you don't know where it's going to end either. I understand that.
And I haven't had any control over the situation either.
All right, it's time to cork it off the proverbial pot, one way or the other. You don't have to write that, okay? And you don't have to say that on your radio.
Sounds like maybe I'm the only one in support of it, and it'll probably die for lack of seconds, so do I waste my time making a motion or not?
Well, I don't think that's, if you feel,
I honestly feel like it.
then make the motion, we'll have the discussion.
I will make the motion that he is allowed to hire some outside legal counsel if he deems it's necessary on this situation.
Discussion.
You get a second?
No, not until I have discussion.
I thought you had a second where you can have discussion.
Well, I might want to change your motion, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Apparently there have been other counties that have done the same.
So I can't support it if it's open-ended. I can't. Okay? There has to be,
Point.
there has to be a limit. There absolutely has to be a limit. And at some point, because I sympathize and completely understand where Bart's coming from. I don't think that don't misunderstand the use of the word, okay? But I don't think his fear is unreasonable, given everything that's happened. And they have suffered financially. I don't think the county itself will be protected regardless. ICAP, through the errors and omissions and so we'll be protected. And there is no question about that. I'm not the least bit worried about that. ICAP will protect Bart as well if it gets to that point. But making sure the process is a reasonable request, but I just don't think it can be open-ended. I think we have to set parameters and we have to set a limit.
Set a limit of if it moves on and ICAP
Well, I think
steps
that's the
in.
one thing, but Bart said it's $250 an hour.
The representation agreement would be limited. It would specifically be limited to 2 employees and would not be for lawsuits, which would be then ICAP.
Right.
So it's going to be limited.
But I still think that there has to be, I'm looking in terms of, I don't know. Okay, but I'm thinking I have 20 hours in my head. I mean, how long does it take to do, I don't know Mr. Thomas. When we had used him previously, it didn't take 20 hours when he handled the previous investigation. So I think 20 hours, that's $5,000. That's my take at $250 an hour. I mean, and he's giving advice. It's not like we're going to be writing legal briefs and all that stuff, right? I mean, I'm just saying that at some point, we have to be responsible on the other end of the equation as well.
But we also have a responsibility to protect our employees and our elected
That's why we
officials.
hired Chelsea. That's why we have Darcy. That's why we have Christie. That's why they went and took all that training. They are our HR. They protect us in that regard. One of the employees will have civil service protection, and what's the other thing? You said the officers' Bill of Rights or something?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know if that applies to the one employee or not that's in one area as opposed to a deputy. I'm not trying to get
The
too.
officer bill of rights covered, it is for both.
Okay, perfect. I didn't want to get too deep in the weeds that part in that regard. So I would amend your motion. I would amend your motion to limit it to 20 hours.
So you're asking me to accept that, is that
Well, you
correct?
made the motion, so, yeah.
I'll accept that.
And I'm sorry, and that in the event that a lawsuit is filed, that we bring ICAP in.
Yes, and this Skylar Limkemann will be done. Is that correct? If ICAP steps in.
Yes, that's what you just said, right?
Well, if ICAP stepped in, yeah, they would probably, I think Skylar is done. ICAP been hired, his law firm has for ICAP.
But during the duration of the investigation, which or administrative investigation that Mr. Thomas is going to conduct. Okay, and then his presence during that time, Mr. Limkemann. Okay, so my amendment to
I
you.
mean, he should be kept brought up to speed as it goes along, correct?
I presume so.
That's what we're looking at. If we hire him, he will be sitting back, listening to everything.
Yep, and it'll oversee John and everything.
Okay, will he have any input then, or just basically be listening?
Well, that's hard to answer. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be.
I don't know.
I mean, if he's making sure that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, if he says, Joe, you forgot to dot an I. I mean,
Okay.
so.
That's the way I'm taking it,
I mean,
yes.
I would assume that there would be some input,
Probably.
you know. We want to make sure that those T's are crossed, those I's are dotted. And
Yes.
again, this would be no reflection upon you or upon your office or upon Mr. Thomas or anybody else. If we got notice of a lawsuit, don't color me surprised, okay? I would be surprised if it doesn't happen, to be perfectly honest with you.
I'm not so concerned about that as just, you know, I don't know where it's going to go, you know, what discipline is going to be imposed, if any, you know. I mean,
Well,
obviously they can appeal to civil service, they can appeal after that, even to district court. If they didn't agree with what I did.
Right, and at that point, you know, ICAP and you know, but the other thing is, I just really lost my train of thought. There is some situations that before it can move forward, that has to be determined in another meeting, correct? Out west. charges that were brought.
Okay, I guess I don't understand what you're asking.
Well, that has to be adjudicated before we can move forward with the other, right?
We can move forward with the administrative investigation.
Regardless.
I don't believe any discipline can be imposed until after resolution,
Okay,
if that makes sense.
yeah, okay, perfect. Anyway. So you accept the amendment to the motion? Did you write that down?
I did.
Okay, would you be so kind as to read it back?
Yep. To hire outside legal counsel if he deems it necessary on this situation, and to limit it to 20 hours, and that in an event of a lawsuit being filed, we bring ICAP in.
Do you need Skylar's name in there, the Skylar Limkemann's name in there for outside counsel?
Was it one of the things?
So just to clarify, 20 hours total or 20 hours per employee?
At this point, 20 hours total.
Okay, just want to clarify that.
I thought there was something else I said, but okay. Obviously not, or you would have written it down. Right,
I would have
For a maximum of 20 hours, correct?
20 hours total. Limit it to 20 hours total.
Good enough, good enough.
at $250 an hour, which is what he said he charges, so. So that's your motion.
Yes, it is.
I'll second your motion. Any more discussion?
You know, I sit here and I think, I know there was a situation a year ago. I really wish our county attorney and our sheriff could just get together for a little bit, because this has ended up costing us, it's gonna cost county money. So it's gonna cost county. Right now, we can see that whatever it takes to hire John will be $3,500. Whatever it takes to hire Mr. Ackerman is going to be, or Lindemann, is gonna be $5,000. I think it's money we don't need to spend. I wish the guys would get together and talk.
I agree.
I'm not gonna vote for this because I cannot spend the money like that in good faith. Even though they both have, I can see where they're coming from, but I can't spend the money.
So we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Susie,
No,
Joe,
Yes.
Lee.
Yes. And it has to, they're finally. Committee reports.
I had no outside committees. I have personal committees, like the insurance committees, but none other than that.
Oh. I had practice Thursday last week. Because of the Thrashers, I didn't have much of anything else. Short week for me.
You get a report on the demolition derby? Fall off your scooter.
Pass.
That was good.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for that.
Can I use that lever and open that trap door?
Okay.
It's under you.
No, it's under you. I made sure of that.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just bring you all up to speed. I don't think I had any meetings last week, but I will be meeting with Jason Hall and Josh this afternoon. Jason will call me they're going to do the survey this afternoon. I think I sent it all to you. I think I did.
I think you did, yes.
$1,300 up to
Yes, yes, I did.
$1,300. And so public comments, Joe. Okay, thanks. Public comments.
That's the first, isn't it? One, I'm home over it. People give up, I think.
Well, I'm going to take this opportunity to support Susie's comment. And I've said it before, and I'm sure you're tired of hearing it, Chauncey. And I'm not meaning it in any disrespectful sense whatsoever. But, you know, I agree with what Susie just said. I wish
I apologize, I stepped out I did run up the court for 2 minutes.
she,
Did I miss something?
she just said that she wished that you guys could get together.
Yeah, every opportunity I've made that clear.
I just,
Costing us money every,
Did you guys hire an outside lawyer for the sheriff?
we limited it to 20 hours. And if ICAP steps in, then that's the end of it.
Okay.
During the administrative investigation,
I'm confused. Is the board intending to just hire lawyers for the sheriff anytime a question of legal issue come up?
this is
it looks that way.
my problem. I can't, this is what I'm trying to convey. If I were in his shoes, and I'm glad that I'm not, but if I were in his shoes, I can't say I wouldn't feel like he feels. And
You can feel any way, though. I have an obligation to protect him.
yeah, I know, and I don't doubt that you would take your obligation to the fullest extent that was required. I don't doubt that, but so back to what I said before, this is just so convoluted. I can't even tell you. I mean, from his perspective,
And what does this represent? Is this to represent sheriff personally? Because I still represent the sheriff's office and his position as sheriff. So this is, again, you guys, I hate to tell you this, you might be making new ground here, brand new statute. I would hate to see Jefferson County as the test case here, but
well, you won't be because Henry County did it first.
they did. Okay.
Right? And I don't want to go down that road. What I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to be as professional and as I can be on this and as reasonable as I can be on this. But I got to tell you, I'm damn tired of it.
So am I.
And
The sheriff clearly doesn't like me. He can't even look me in the eye when we're having a conversation, but I still have obligations to him.
I get that. But how do you square what he just said in all honesty, that he spent $54,000? Well,
You did.
no, we only spent the 40. Okay, he spent an additional $14,000 because you decided to appeal because you believe that there is a constitutional argument. But for whatever reason, it's costing him financially. You cannot, in my estimation, I don't think any reasonable person can look at that and say, well, I don't understand why he's gun shy.
As the three of you, I'm sure, can recognize, I've been trying to sit down with the sheriff and mediate through the problems he has working with my office for over a year. I've been met with ignored emails, blank stares, and staring at the wall. He won't even look me in the eye and have a
Okay,
conversation.
so let's, for sake of argument, and I'm not suggesting you win, lose, or it'll be a draw, but let's, for sake of argument, the Supreme Court says, you're wrong. Then is there further litigation?
I'm not going to presuppose the Supreme Court.
See, there you go. It doesn't end. And that's what I'm trying to say is that there is no There is zero benefit to Jefferson County. There's no benefit to Joe. There's no benefit to Ed. There's no benefit to me.
You're asking me to guess what the Supreme Court's gonna say.
No, that's not what I said. I said, for the sake of argument, if the Supreme Court said, there's no case here, does it end there?
It depends what they say. Their rulings are 30 pages for a reason. They don't just say, case closed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that says it won't end there.
Not necessarily.
If there is an opening, I'm sure it'll be taken. That's my point. At what point do we step up? We don't have any authority to step up and say this has to end. But by the same token, let's put ourselves in the position that we find another elected official in. I don't know whether he did something wrong or not. The court said, the first court said, take his name off the list. We chose not to do that. And we decided to appeal it. Okay, I don't know whether the first court was wrong or not, but we went through the process. And this can go on, no disrespect to lawyers, but lawyers have the ability to go on and on and on.
The sheriff is conflating these two issues, and they're extremely independent.
Well, but you can't blame an individual for conflating the two issues, because in his mind's eye, it's all about the first employee. Now we're back with a potential having to discipline another one or two. And
All the facts are basically out there on this. This was not an employee discipline issue. This was a fact. The sheriff was hiding facts from my office.
well,
It's not about discipline. And again, we're not conflating the two issues. This is completely separate.
well, again, I cannot fault him for, like I said, being gun shy. Whether he's right or wrong, whether you're right or wrong, in my estimation, I feel like it's at some point, it's like, okay, if you're not gonna play by my rules, I'm gonna take my ball and go home. That's what I feel like. Yes, sir.
One of the Supreme Court justices in the past, I think he was from Jefferson, Iowa, not Jefferson County, but he said, we are not final because we're right. We are right because we're final. But in there, they will make rulings on all parts of what the judge said. And that's the only way to find out what the law means. And there are constitutional obligations upon lawyers. You can be sued in federal court just as easily. And County Attorney Moulding has tried to do his best. I wouldn't come to work here if I wasn't concerned with that. I have nothing against the sheriff. He's got a right to defend his rights too. But the county attorney is uniquely qualified. He's selected by the voters of this county. And he has to do his duty. And sometimes being a lawyer is kind of unpopular and it's kind of difficult.
You gotta sit in this chair.
I understand. I've advised the supervisors before. I'm glad I'm not one.
You know, and evidently the legislature thought that there were some issues too. And there's nothing, in my estimation, there's nothing gray in this at all. It says the board of supervisors may, with a majority vote of the board, obtain outside counsel to represent the board of supervisors or any other county official.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's black and white.
It's damn right it's black and white.
And the
And
question is, are you authorizing an outside counsel to represent the sheriff personally? Because I had to call Skylar and basically talk to him about this case, and I'm not really clear where his representation lies.
what I will tell you, in my humble opinion, which carries zero weight, it says county official. Doesn't say county offices.
Right.
That's my take. That's what we did. Because we have representation from both. Not arguing that point. We have representation both in your office and with ICAP, and we have representation with ICAP for county officials as well, if they, in the
During the course of their
performance
duties.
of their duties, right? Okay, I verified that again through Joe Benz. He was very specific, or not specific, but he affirmed my thought process, which
It's hard to do, I know.
it is, it's very hard to do, I get that. And I'm sure these two are as well. I am so very tired of this. I would like. What did they do in the witches' days and stuff when they put them in the
Stocks.
stock? Stock.
You told me to have me and the sheriff to sit down and work this
I
out.
did.
And I
I got down on the floor and begged.
put it all on the table. I'm like, anytime, anywhere, say what you want. A day later, what's he say? On advice of counsel, I can't meet without him. I'm like, all right, bring whatever lawyer you want. The issue to resolving the conflict, if there is a conflict, between myself and the sheriff is not coming.
I would, not that I would have any say in it one way or the other, and I guess it'd have to be a closed session if we brought the supervisors in, but if everybody wanted to sit down with the supervisors, I'd be more than willing to do that too. It's just got to stop. It has to. There's no benefit. I understand you think that there's a constitutional question in it, and there may very well be. But
What's unsustainable is just hiring outside legal counsel for every question that comes up on the part of the sheriff. I work with his
Okay,
office
so
every
let's-
single day.
okay, you're right. But let me ask you another question. Let me ask it this way. Okay, he and or slash his attorney are having to respond to whatever everybody files on a constitutional issue. So if the two of you were to sit down, and let's say that you came to an amenable conclusion, and you say, okay, I'm going to withdraw my appeal that I filed to the Supreme Court, does the constitutional issue go away?
I'm not really sure what we're asking.
Well, what I'm saying is that we're saying that, well, if you come and sit down with me, we'll have this conversation, and this is what you said, and we can work this out. So let's say that.
I'm talking practical, right? So like in my email that the sheriff read excerpts of, my concern is that
I'm talking about your appeal. I'm talking about what it takes to resolve that issue. So if he comes and sits down, you come and sit down, whether we're there or whether we're not, his attorney is there, what it is there is, and you come to this conclusion, and you say, okay, and we shake hands and we walk away, do you drop the appeal? And if you do drop the appeal, does the constitutional question go away?
the constitutional concerns that I have about that portion of Section 80F stand. There's a very questionably constitutional provision.
Okay.
My issues with operating on a day-to-day basis with the sheriff when he's not providing information and sending information to lawyers that don't represent the county that I haven't heard, that's separate. That I have grave concerns about that.
Okay. So you resolve that.
Yes.
Do you take him off the list? And if you win your constitutional argument, do you put him back on the list? That's his question. That's my question. Where does this stop?
The sheriff's on the Jefferson County Brady-Giglio List because there are concerns over his candor and credibility when relating with my office and hiding information.
Right.
His behavior today has not alleviated those concerns.
All right. But if you had that, what I'm trying to get to, and I'm not doing a good job here, I guess because I'm not an attorney. What I'm trying to get to is that if you had a conversation and you say, yes, okay, I screwed up. Okay, yeah, I had some culpability in this. Let's put it behind us. Let's move on. We shake hands. You take his name off the list. Now, maybe you want to pursue the constitutional issue, but his financial obligation, his legal obligation, does that go away?
I don't know.
So what do you expect him to do?
I
I
expect
mean,
him
if he
to,
has a conversation with you, if it doesn't resolve anything in terms of his financial and legal concerns, then it didn't resolve anything. It may get you some closure, but it didn't get him any closure.
it's not about closure. I expect an elected official to work with his lawyers, be able to sit in a room with them, look him in the eye and talk to him about the day-to-day operations of his office, to which we are intimately entwined. Our offices work hand in hand together every single day. But for some reason, the leader of that office cannot share information or chooses not to share information with me. And the email that was just provided is Exhibit X on that. It's a serious concern that I have with going to outside lawyers to talk about employment issues that have not been hired by the county is completely improper. I shouldn't be learning anything from somebody who doesn't represent us.
I won't argue that. I cannot fault him for having the concerns. I just can't. I'm sorry. I mean, I would feel the same way in terms of my own, and, you know, financially, this could ruin him. I mean, you know, I mean, I'm talking about the ongoing thing. We've hashed this, but it's not, I don't know how it's going to get resolved. I don't know if the Supreme Court will resolve it. I don't know if the Supreme Court resolves it, whether you'll accept what the Supreme Court says, but I don't know if I don't even know if you're going to appeal the Supreme Court. I have no idea. But
Well, it certainly wouldn't hurt for us to sit in a room together and try and figure out where we can work smoothly together. Because what's completely unfair to the Jefferson County taxpayers is to keep hiring lawyers every time the sheriff doesn't like the answers that his elected county attorney provides. That's it. There is no conflict here.
if there was any way, and if Mr. Gribble wanted to be here, I would like for the three of us to be involved in it. I don't know whether you guys want to be involved in it or not, but anything we can do to put a stop to this. I mean, I know, on the one hand, you can say, well, you didn't have to. You're right, we didn't. But on the other hand, I can't not be sympathetic to his plight. I don't know, I just so freaking fed up with it that I would have never, ever, in 100 years, ever expected this to come out of Jefferson County. Never. Just, I did this for 12 years before I came here. We didn't have these kind of problems. And it just absolutely boggles my mind that we're here. I'm disappointed. I don't like the look that it presents to the outside world, so to speak, let alone, as you indicated, Chauncey, and that Susie indicated, the money that we spent. That's why I insisted this time that it had to be, there'll be no coming back. But, and I do want to make sure those employees get a fair shake, however that comes out in the wash. I don't know, it's not my call to make, but we have used investigators before.
Absolutely.
Another employee.
You know, I sit here and I think, okay, you've got to hire the lawyer for 20 hours, $2.50 an hour. You know, we've got our own basis of workforce advisors here, Christy and Darcy. And Chelsea is still on retainer, for lack of a better word. I would have thought the first thing a smart person would have done would be to work through them first. If they didn't get the answer they liked, then maybe go on. If people are going to lose their jobs, maybe the state workforce will come in. You know, why do we always have to start with the railroad?
He indicated that he spoke with Chelsea. I don't know that he spoke with you and Darcy.
Nope.
But I know he spoke with Chelsea.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying,
I say I know that because I asked him.
that hiring of that should have been the last resort. We all need to work within the system. rather than just coming here and wanting us to pay for something.
But, and I agree with you. You have no idea how much I agree with you.
Write that down, would you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you write that down?
I agree with you. But the question is, if you're the person that feels that the system is screwing you, how do you work within the system? How do you convince that person that and this is not to be disrespectful, because I don't want it. I said to you too the other day, I said, I consider you both dear friends, and
Oh, no.
I know he went home sick after I said that. But
Maybe you pick up the phone and you call the person and you work it out.
Yeah.
Or you respond to emails asking for information, or you don't stonewall, or tell people not to, provide info. Maybe, just a possibility.
yeah,
Yeah,
I just am very tired and frustrated.
I
And sometimes
just hate for
downright
us to
angry.
start out with step 10 and not go through 1 through 9 first.
Anyway, that's my public comment.
Well, that took a long, 2 hours.
I know. Any other public comments? Motion. The folks that are online. You tell us people up there? Yes, sir. And they can see you, Joe.
Yeah,
That's why I'm not talking.
They've been watching you. Clench your eyes and yawn,
Answer the phone.
scratch your ear.
Motion to allow claims and approve reports in the amount of $75,109.60.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Susie, public comments. Did you want to have a conversation in public comments?
I did. I would like to have, and I've said this to both of you, talk to Steve Berkmeyer, because I wanted to talk about the office here. Several times last week, I tried to come in, you guys were both up here. That's fine. But it gives the appearance of impropriety. That being said, maybe nothing's going on, maybe something's going on, but maybe we should have office hours once in a while.
I'm okay with that as long as there's somebody in the office. And the only reason I say that is because when I decided to run again, one of the first things that was said to me is, well, you gonna be in the office?
When I talked to Steve, he said, we have our time, but if you've got a meeting scheduled at that point, you go ahead and go to your meeting. It's as simple as that. But
Right.
so that,
And that's what, he's 100% correct.
I just think it's the illusion of impropriety, and we have to get away from that.
Yeah, when I first came on board, we had office
Mhm,
hours.
I know
And
that.
when he was elected,
Okay.
he decided that they didn't want to do that anymore, so.
Well, gee whiz.
But I love coming in here. Most of the time.
Yeah.
So, you guys sit down and figure out what your schedules look like, and I can work mine around that.
So the next time we have a meeting, we can talk about what days we want. That'll give us something.
Yeah, so we'll do that on the 22nd.
I bet you even still have the office hours sheet that it used to be.
Proof Abby never throws anything away.
They come around again.
That's why Jared never gets away with anything, because she does this at
Well,
home.
good for
She
her.
takes
For
notes.
sure.
Good for her.
All right, motion to adjourn?
Oh, yeah.
All right, all those in favor?
Oh, yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
I told you it was a long one. Now I've got a question for you. Actually, 3 questions. Is the sheriff justified in his position? Is the county attorney justified in his position? Did the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors make the right decision regarding the sheriff's request? Those are my questions for you. Please, folks, put your thoughts down below in the comments, and remember to give this episode a like and make sure to follow and subscribe. It's free. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my sponsors, Griner Auto Body, Car Doctor, McDonald Boneyard, Your Choice Family Restaurant, Girling Repair, B&B Propane, and the family of Jet Stops, CW Tree Trimming LLC, Dutch Market, and Coffee Talk. I'm your host, John Bain. Stay friendly, Southeast Iowa.